There are no quick fixes, but that's what all dating experts and pickup artists promise. They are offering solutions to desperate, horny, and lonely men who have no experience. You won't know what they're teaching you is ridiculous bullshit. That's the truth. There are con men who promise you'll be getting laid within hours of your wallet being emptied. Yes. And their money back is guaranteed. All you have to do is take them to court to get your money back. Good fucking luck. Older guys, there are 14 million young women out there right now. At this very moment, 1 million of them are being courted by men twice their age, and all of them are being courted by boys and young men. All the good-looking ones are being hustled all the time, every fucking one of them. Tens of thousands are having an affair with a man twice as old as they are right now. Loving every minute of it. So how do you get involved, you want to know, right? Here you go. Older guys, you date women, right? Right? No matter how old she is or how young she is, the steps are the same. Find, meet, talk, date. So what's the problem, you ask? And this applies to young men and older men, but mostly inexperienced guys. Clearly stated, you don't know how to, 1, find her, 2, meet her, 3, talk with her. Dating follows naturally if you converse with her based on the rules as she understands them. Right now, older men, you solve this problem several times each year. The only difference is the female's age. If you are not dating and never have dated, keep reading. I explain what it takes for the inexperienced to become experienced. Where do you find women right now? At work, in bars, attending class, through friends, at parties, and sometimes in the most unexpected places like the post office. You find young women in the same places. No shit, you say. Well, everywhere except bars. Forget about that. Much more later coming up. My point is finding her is not a big part of this problem. You have the primary resource for solving it right there on the top of your neck. Not to be confused with your little head, which usually prevents solving any part of any problem. Meet her. It's no different from meeting anybody. You introduce yourself, someone introduces you, or she introduces herself. You have all the skills and resources right now. That part of the problem is solved with your big head, some steel in your balls, and learning a few techniques. After you understand her, what she wants from you, no matter your age, and what she's afraid of. But that's the next chapter. Talk with her. It's made of 2 tasks. Task A is delivering an opening line that won't make her laugh at you or scare her away. Warning, don't try any fucking pickup lines at all. None. 0. For Christ's sake, don't use any from a dating expert. Task B is to sustain the conversation long enough for her to realize you are A, safe, B, interesting, C, attractive. It has to go in that order. First, she has to feel safe. Then she has to think you're interesting. And C, at that point, she can start to consider whether she wants to go for a mustache ride or not. But first, you have to be safe, then interesting, and keep talking until she gets the idea. A mustache ride might be fun. Essence of the problem. This essence, the substance, the essential difference, the core, put it more succinctly, the whole fucking thing comes down to task B with 4 subtasks. Task B was sustain the conversation long enough for her to realize you are safe, interesting, and attractive in that order. Sustain contact. You have to talk with her for a minimum and a maximum of 4 to 5 minutes. Minimum and a maximum. That means in 5 minutes you're gone. You don't know much about talking to anyone under 25. You don't have the ability to carry on a conversation she can, like, relate to. Like totally on her level. Simple, like friendly, relaxed, cool, well, like totally casual. They're not all airheads, but casual is what every one of them needs to, before she can realize you're not dangerous, physically dangerous, and now as well as socially or emotionally dangerous, safe, interesting, and attractive. And you've got to deal with physically dangerous and emotionally dangerous. So let's talk about that. Physical danger. All women are physically smaller than men. They're scared of men, period. They can be destroyed with 1 punch. Physical danger. She thinks she could be the Night Stalker or a dirty old man trying to cop a feel. Being casual, relaxed, and friendly makes it possible for her to see her safe. You do this with women all the time. Young women just take longer. But it isn't how much longer it takes her. No matter your age, read the real problem is your lust, your lack of confidence, your excitement, your impatience, your fear of rejection. All those combined causing you to radiate anxiety. She picks this up, consciously or subconsciously, and thinks she could be very dangerous, at which point she says, I've got to get some ice for my drink. Social danger. With practice and experience, you learn how to control yourself and your emotions when talking with her. You learn how to calm her fear of the threat you pose to her socially. You have to be casual enough so she doesn't have to worry her friends, peers, and possibly her boyfriend will ridicule or reject her if she's seen talking with you. The young woman is not only worried about being seen talking with you, she has far more to lose by dating you, the older guy. If her friends find out, she will be ostracized. No young man in her circles will consider her as a wife, feeling she's used merchandise, an old man's cast-off. The way our world works, people only smirk about you, but they strongly condemn her as sick, a gold digger, promiscuous, or a slut. With patience, her view of you as socially dangerous can be transformed into the realization you are discreet, subtle, and sensitive to her situation. That's communicated, but not directly. We'll get to that shortly when we get to talk with her. Emotional danger. She thinks you're so powerful, so knowledgeable, you'll be able to sexually use her, then discard her. This is her biggest fear. Although this sounds impossible to overcome, it isn't. I spend fewer pages on this than any other problem. Trial and error teaches you what to do. Interesting in attracting her. I don't mean to be glib, but after you know how to deal with her fears, you only have to be yourself. Of course, you have to look like someone she wants to talk to. Of course, you have to look like someone she wants to talk to. Let that soak. But that's all explained, what you have to look like. Then religiously follow the 10 Commandments of Meeting and the 11 Commandments of Courtship later in this book. You must also have answers to inevitable questions down pat. You must not stumble, thrash around, or go, when she asks the inevitable questions. There are 54 inevitable manipulative questions in the Dream Girl series. That book is aimed at guys who have never had a girlfriend and want one. Guys that have no experience. The Dream Girl series, 11 books long, almost 1,000 pages. It's only a Kindle. Too expensive to print with all the color pictures. But if you don't have any experience, you get this book, get your grounding, get the fundamentals and principles down, then get that 800, 900 pages and read one. It's each step, each task has a whole book to itself. Every step is detailed. What you have to do, when, how to tell when you're making progress, how to know when to quit. It's all in there. I expanded every topic in this book of 225 pages to about 1,000 pages. I give extreme detail for every phase. In the Dream Girl series, I call it Dress for Success with Women. The problem clearly restated. We want to make sure we know what the problem is before we try to fix it, right? Right. She's afraid and you don't know how to put her at ease. There it is in one simple sentence. Some elaboration. The only difference between finding, meeting, talking with, and dating a 37-year-old and a 20-year-old, far more intense fear of the consequences. Consequences of going out with you. 37-year-olds have no consequences of going out with you, but 20-year-olds do. I'm talking to the older men now. To understand her intense fear of the consequences, you must understand her. That chapter's coming in a few pages. Over the years, we, the Titanium Babes, young women who teach in my workshops alongside of me, and I have been very successful helping many guys with zero experience, 4 virgins, over the past 20 years, learn to find, meet, talk, date, and relate. I'm very proud of those accomplishments, and the girls are happy too. I'll speak for them. I guarantee you they are. They know how lonely it is not to have a boyfriend, and they feel sorry for guys that are 30, 35 years old that have never been kissed. It just makes them cry sometimes that they were successful. Guys without much experience. If you're not experienced meeting, talking with women, you have zero chance with young women. If that's you, keep reading anyway. 90% of everything in here applies. But, and that's a big but, you have to get experience, or no desirable woman will ever be interested in going out with you. Keywords are desirable. Go out with you. You have to learn how to do what I and most guys learned how to do in junior high, high school, college, and being single young men. That means you have to find, meet, and date anybody that will go out with you. Watch my videos on that. I'll try to put one in the crawl of this one. Inexperienced guys. To get started, 1, read this book twice. Use a highlighter the second time. Number 2, read Body Language Secrets. Do the same thing I just said. Read it twice and use a highlighter the second time. 3, read Dream Girl. As often as you have to. Over and over is okay. That's how you can get some experience. You get some idea what's going to happen when you start talking with women. So you won't be baffled by what happens. Next, watch the videos on my YouTube channel. See the playlist. There's one big long one called Inexperienced Men, and one called Understand Women, another one called Talk with Women, and another that's called Body Language. Those will get you started. The truth about young women is next, in Understand Her. Let me show you the picture so you get an idea where we're going. You want to understand her? I do. And I do understand her.